it turns out that the hop windows in these vary quite greatly, which meant that there was a bit of an issue.
Wait there, Steve. Are you telling me? I don't think the audience is ready for this. That there's tolerance and QC issues in most airsoft things. Heaven forbid. So, welcome everyone. As you can see, I am here with Steve from Hadron Airsoft Designs.
Good evening.
And yeah, this is a project that's been in the works for some time. Obviously, I've certainly known about it for some time, and you've obviously been doing it for a while. But what is it? We've seen some sneaky pictures. We've had some little teases. Obviously, I know what it is. Doesn't stop me being excited, though. Right. Mine's at my workshop. I forgot to bring it home. But I was shooting it earlier without even the finished parts because you didn't tell me they weren't finished. And I tell you what, it's still good. No. But yeah, so what is Loki, Steve? What is it? Praise it. Tell
Loki.
us.
All right. Where did it get its name from? Yes, mischief. So when the first AAP arrived, I think I had them from WGC in Hong Kong. They came in before the UK shipment that was all like messed up due to the COVID. And I think I had taken it into the back and shot a bit with it, pushed it to its limits. And within about 3 hours, it was TDC'd and short stroked. So it was like warranty invalid within a few hours of it arriving.
Steve, this is airsoft. There is no warranty.
No, there definitely wasn't on this. It was, and I had ordered two, so if one went wrong, I had another. But and it did. The first one that I TDC'd, I measured it, I did everything. I put a hole through the top, and I put the hole in the wrong bloody place. And it was, oh, great, okay. I'll move it a few more mil back, and this is how you learn. You know, pretty much every gun, a pistol I've ever airsoft pew pew that I've ever touched, I usually end up damaging the first one beyond belief, and it's just destroyed with holes and yeah. But it's the only way you can do it. You know,
in a way, holes my VSR's got in it. Yeah, I've got cylinders, holes in it, everything. Actually, the only thing that I've still got is I've got an S trigger, like an early S trigger from Pavel from Spring Custom Works. I think it's in one of my VSRs in the loft. But it's like a V6 from like 5 or 6 years ago, and it's never broken. I've only replaced it because Pavel always gets a new one, and I always generally get one. I'm on like the V9.2 now. But everything else in that gun, same as you. Every time I get a new gun, I'm like, oh, this looks great. Now, what would it look like if I did this and I did this? And then you're like, oh, Swiss cheese.
Do you know what? Every time that Dremel fires up in here, right, all these pew pews on the wall get really, really nervous because they can end up looking like the 23 slide where I wanted to see what was going on with certain things. So it just got carved to pieces, and it still shoots. You could game with it. If you've ever seen the Frankenstein sort of builds that people do, like that ASG Evo is amazing.
Yeah,
that's still going.
Burnt at a crucifix and still shoots.
That's been lasered, it's been cut in, it's been burnt in. Anyway, digressing. You've got to kind of attack it and find out how it works in order to stress it, and then you can fix it.
It's like the joys of 3D printing, isn't it? Like you got bits everywhere, calibration cubes, getting temp retraction towers. I've got my printer was on, hence why I'm so sweaty, because in my office, even though I've got all the windows open and I've got a fan with the monitors and the light, and then even though it's in an enclosure, it's like a radiator. Yeah. Hence why I'm a little sweaty.
I was pulling the face before because I had a beer, and as I was having the beer, I've got
a whiskey. Cheers, Steve.
We're off again, mate. So,
how did it start? There we go. Let's go back to basics. You got an AAP. Right. How did you TDC it?
Okay, so the reason I made the first TDC for an AAP was I got it running 3.2s. I put an H plate in, I put a Flamingo in, and then once it was outranging the G series that I had. It was outranging the 23. I thought it's great. I ran 4s and I started noticing deviations and bending. And I thought, right, okay, it's bending the arm. And then when closer examination, all the hot wheels were starting to like dislocate. It didn't like that stress. So yeah, with that, it got drilled. The first one was very, very crude. It was just a threaded upper slide, which was it wasn't too bad, but it's not what I don't like that. You know, that's like that is like a development stage. Is you drill holes in it and push in certain places and you test That's like one of the reasons why the Mark 23 has got 2 locations for the screw, because certain buckings behave and different weights behave in different pressure points.
Same with AEGs. Like, you take any AEG chamber apart, and some of them push right near the front. And for a mound style bucking, that's absolutely fine. The mound is generally near the front. Whereas when you're trying to use a long concave patch, like, well, there's a few people that are running the AEG Flamingo, especially some happy people tomorrow. And obviously using a mega nub, and that's obviously in the middle. But then you use like a Shredder's concave spacer or something like that, or like the, what are they called? The other one, it looks like a phone nub. It's what the phone nub was based on. I think it's a
like
Shredder's concave spacer. And they give a really good profile, but they're shit for everything that isn't like a flat hop because of where their position is. Anyway, so you got the AAP, you drilled holes in it.
Ran it.
How was your first TDC?
It worked. It was gameable, and it was gamed, which meant that it was a concept. So what I didn't like, though, was the gun is quite a plasticky construction, and you had a lot of deviations in hop, not left or right, but up or down, long distances. So it went on to my first ever, which I don't know whether you can see that here. Let's see if I can show that. That is like the first hop arm that went in. All right. And that was like an H-arm, but for the AAP, that was done like within a few days. Like, I had resin printed ones, which worked great. And then I moved on and had some SLS ones done for test. And then I had a plate like that.
Familiar.
It is. And what's interesting about this one is this is what Mustang uses in his AAP to this day, right? The whole setup I was sent to him as part of a trial, and this will explain why I went to a hop unit. This went out to him, and it's in his videos where he was using the AAP on
a couple of years back now.
Yeah,
Post like right at the beginning of the pandemic.
That was it. So if you actually zoom in on his AAP that he uses, where it's doing the insane rate of fire, he's running the first short stroke kit and this TDC that I did. And yeah, this one has a little story behind it, doesn't it? Because it appeared in other locations.
Because I remember the plate. That plate ended up somewhere, didn't it, Steve? Unfortunately,
it did. It did. It was
stolen out of my gun.
Yeah, I can actually say that it's probably one of the only products I've ever had that has been physically stolen, as in taken.
Well, it was in one of mine AAPs, and then it went, didn't it?
Yeah, it was there, then it was gone. It was weird. It was like, there's an AAP, and it's gone like that. Where is it? Anyway,
many of my things went missing, Steve. Many of them.
It did. Yes, it did. Sadly.
But we digress.
We do, and that meant that it was it could be made better. And one thing I noticed with this little hot plate was that the AAP hot chamber itself is a cast construction, and it's a bloody good one, right? When it comes to pistols, this is probably one of the best hop units.
Pew pew.
I have pew pew. I have ever come across or used. It is accurate. It's very, very good. My lad runs it in his. It is just a well designed, but it could be improved. And what I did notice was that the hop arm, I sent out that hop arm to 5 or 6 testers, and they said.
One. Yeah, that's how long ago it was before he stopped airsofting.
What he was saying was, it catches on that edge, or it catches on that edge, or it catches on the other edge. And I was like, they're all the same size. It turns out that the hop windows in these vary quite greatly, which meant that there was a bit of an issue.
Wait there, Steve. Are you telling me? I don't think the audience is ready for this. That there's tolerance and QC issues in most airsoft things.
There is indeed.
So heaven forbid.
So when that plate went in, it would work nice. The inner walls weren't always 90 degrees. The gap, it would move around. It worked really, really well, as proven. But there was improvement. And then we had the V2 TDC, which, again, never released. And that is that one there. And that has an inbuilt nub. Whether you can see that, I don't know in the light.
That's almost familiar too.
And the idea with that one is that it goes in, but it pushes against the upper of the Pew Pew.
Outer receiver.
Yes, the Pew Pew outer receiver pushes against that. And that worked really, really, really well. And then the reason I never fastened it directly to the hop unit was that it would always try and kick off on an angle. It would always move. It was always lift. It would twist. That one with the inbuilt nub was much better. It was more stable. It pushed. That was going to be the version until people started making outers for the Pew Pews. So Action Army made the Mamba, which was a nice piece, but it had some really, really bad tolerancing on the version I had. And what it meant was that the hop would change. It wouldn't push down. You needed different length grub screws. The nub would stay centered, but it would lift up. The whole plate would lift up 0.2 of a mil, 0.5. And that is enough to throw most shots off or inconsistent. So that one was like, right, okay, what do we do next? And then we started on the early prints, which were resin for a 2-piece. These went out, and these are still out there now. And that's kind of where the Loki name came from, because some of the shots that the guys were pulling off with this hop unit were insane. They were outranging. Like,
well, I think you. I can't remember if it was you sent me a video or one of the. I won't name testers in case they don't want to be named. But I think one of the testers sent it, and they were dinging a lamppost consistently, like quite consistently, at like 70 odd meters or something ridiculous on 4s.
70 is easy. In fact, to stress test it, I've actually done a game day with a resin one of these with 0.5s.
Yeah, go on, sorry.
0.5s, right? And you could suppress towers at 60, 70 meters with laser accuracy with a drum mag. It was just stupid. It was very expensive to run with 5s in.
Oh, definitely. You're just getting £5 notes out every mag, like woohoo.
But it did really, really well. And yeah, so the hop unit was the definite way forward. And then we had lots of revisions of hop units. We had, you know, I always keep I don't call them failures, right? Printing failures. They're more lessons, right?
Yep.
And then I'll write on them what I did wrong. So I'll be like, right, this too tight, that too slack, that whatever. And then other stuff just get binned because it's not even worthy writing on. But yeah, you can always keep not your failures, your lessons, right? So that was one, and then we moved on. We had another one that was 2-piece, and then we had story where that one was the 2-piece was very, very good. That should have actually been out about 3 or 4 months ago, but I didn't like the quality.
Yeah, the factory we were testing at the time. I say we because we're both working together on a few other things, and we both happened to use the same factory, and we had different experiences, didn't we?
Yeah, basically it could have been out 4 months ago, right? The problem is that when you release something that's crap and you rush it, say it wasn't rushed, but say you release something that you're not sure about and then try and cover it later, it's not good. So it needed to be right. So we went back, and that meant a whole new round of prototypes, a whole new round of testing, a whole new round of pre-production. So we don't just go to a factory and say, this is what I want, send it me, and I'm going to sell it. We would do numerous resin, numerous prints, test with those. 3 or 4 months, we would then send out for a prototype that would be like a plain color. When we're done with that, we would then get like a pre-production if we're happy, and if something's wrong, we don't like it, which I didn't like something about the 2-piece version, and the whole project was like back to square one again. So yeah, it was a bit of a crap, and I just got to that point. I'd had a bit of a like, I'm not going to swear, but sod this, I'm done.
Tantrum. I have them.
Yeah, and it was like I've got to start again now, and I was losing a bit of mojo, and somebody in this conversation right now, Mr. Dan here, Mr. Snipermechanics, he goes, why don't you just join the 2 pieces together? Why don't you just like make it one? I was like, well,
make it one, insert it from the front, secure it at the rear, job done.
You could do it if you wanted to. So
I remember the phone call.
And we had a little look, we shared the screen, we went through a few bits and pieces, and it was like, yeah, but if I move that there and move that there, how do I get that in? And we ended up solving one problem, and we ended up with 4 more problems. But the 4 more problems are easy to fix. And then we eventually got our little friend here, Mr. Loki.
Which is da-da-da-da.
There we are.
Oh, wrong one. There we go. Too many fucking buttons.
Yes.
Swore. Damn it.
So, yes, and then out it came. 1-piece construction, precision. Like, the tolerances in it, I've just been having discussions with the factory because the pre-samples are good, but I want them right. And yeah, they have knocked it out of the park. So this is Loki. It is a 1-piece hop unit. I don't know what I can actually say much about it regards to feature-wise, because it's just like a little unwrapping come teaser.
Well, as a noob, obviously I got one sent down. Was it this batch? Yeah, it was this batch. Obviously, it was in the AAP that's at the workshop. And I just didn't listen to Steve very much, so he just sent it with a load of screws, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll work it out." And yeah, I did. It was very, very easy. Like some of the ways it's been thought out. Like obviously, there's testers. There's at least 3 testers I've seen in the stream commenting that have all had it, and yeah, I think no one had an issue with installing it. Like no one had any issues with bucking compatibility. I think most people were running Flamingos, but I think no one's had a problem with bucking compatibility. I've had no issues with fitment. The way it goes together is pretty much idiot proof. Even the TDC part, which if you got one in front of you, or is it in the AAP still?
No, I've got one here. I have one. I was actually going to install it on camera, but we're going to be out of time, so I'll do that again another night. But I have one here, said unit.
You mean it's not rushed and panicked and made in resin?
No,
it's a real thing.
No, Christ, no, no, wow. I do not do blue panic resin. All right, it doesn't happen. So we got the bag of fixings, we have the unit, and that is pretty much all you're going to need to put it together. And some of the ranges that we've had confirmed from this 60-70 meters. We've had more. It would be nice to video the entire process. I could safely say that this device is currently outranging what you would get from a 23. So that is the
it's what I found with it is like with like the Glock with a TDC, obviously on single shot, brilliant. But what you find is because there's so much slack in the slide versus obviously the rear blowback that you have on an AAP, your grouping it's not bad at range, especially obviously on 4.8s, but the AAP is scary. It is literally like a fist of BBs at like 65, 70 meters. Just whack.
My AAP, depending on condition, my AAP will put out either 0.2s up to 0.5s. The most I've had it to is 34.6 rounds a second. And the deviation is in between shots. It's acceptable. And the distance it can put them out is insane. I think I actually lent my AAP with the Mamba kit to a guy at Phoenix the other week because his SRS was a little bit too close quarters, and said, "Yeah, I'll take that with a drum mag." And he was just rinsing people with it. And yeah, you might be in a ghillie suit, but you can hear it a mile away. So he didn't last long when he started shooting. But and the beauty of it is, right, I like the Action Army Hop unit. It's nice. It's well put together. I'm not sure about anyone who buys an AAP, right, and then they want to put a stock on it. The hop unit becomes pretty much redundant because you have to take all the stock off to get in to do anything. So I have done a Mamba. We've got a LOKI running in the TTI carbine kit.
Before I forget, I was going to ask you this earlier when I had the AAP in my hand. Is the TTI one the one that takes the M4 front end?
I think it is. Jonathan's got one.
I'm pretty sure it just has the big nut like you have on an M4.
Yeah. So he's actually fitted that unit.
Is he in the stream? Jonathan's in, Andrew's in, and Gary's in. So there's a couple of testers right there.
So that top plate, if you take that top plate out, it will go into a TTI and the screw will go down directly on it. If you want to use like a rail, like a full upper rail, that I think ESC have done a tasty looking one. The original one, from what I remember.
Oh, you mean that one that's come out recently from someone that isn't ESC? Strange.
I like the ESC design. It's great, and I think that would actually fit on the top of this, and it would work. So even if you were to grab this and go, you know what, I'm going to change it later on. I mean, I'll give you an idea. That is my SRU. It's in that. So for me to alter the hop in that, extend the stock, I've got the hole. There we go. It's in. Add a bit of hop. Take a bit of hop off. Back out again. That's it.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's going to work. We've got some questions, and they're coming in thick and fast. I don't want to miss any. So firstly, hello again to everyone that we didn't say hello to in the beginning, for those that have just been joined. So let's pick some out. So Andrew Lowe said, I've dropped someone at 75 meters with 4s. He's a tester, and that's with the resin one. Caleb Tucker, our friend from the States, says he's got loads of your products. Gary says, released a rush product with insufficient testing. The dark side of the force lays down the path lays. Okay. Adam says expensive process. It freaking is.
It's expensive if you do it right, Dan.
I mean, it's expensive if you do it right. It's even more expensive if you do it wrong. Actually, I tell you what, it's cheap if you do it wrong. If you can just fob people off long enough so they give up asking for your help and you've sold a shit product, you've made a lot of money.
Just keep deleting the comments, Dan, and then it's positive feedback.
Thiesk Verhulst asks, what's the price going to be? In GBP, I guess, because obviously it's going to be in the UK first.
Can I say that? I think I can. We are aiming at the under £50. Now, bear in mind that I'm not Action Army. I don't have Action Army pockets. The quantities that you can get these made in, they are like expensive to make. We're thinking $49.99 is the UK retail for it.
But I'm guessing everything you sent me is what someone's going to get, right? Like when
Correct.
I've got the bag of everything in it. So you don't have to buy a separate jig. So you're not buying a product and then being told to get it to work, you've got to buy a jig, right? Can you show how that goes? Like if someone was to install that, how they're going to...
Okay.
Don't worry about time. We can go on for a little bit.
Right.
If I can hear now with me.
Have I got time to do this?
You keep doing that and I'll keep going through the questions and people can just watch you.
All right. So,
Jonathan May says he's tried the flamingos and the maple leafs and they're all fine. Solitron, Josh, how reliable is the AAP-01? I'm trying to avoid GBBs after messing with a few Glocks unsuccessfully. AAP, from my experience, the only thing that ever goes is the hammer, right, Steve? And they're not that expensive to replace. And again, that's if you're being silly on full auto. If you use it in bursts and as you're meant to, they're all right.
Effectively, Action Army in the latest batches have improved the hammers dramatically. The inside set is much, much better on the latest batch. Now, they say that. I've not seen many failures of the new ones. I might stand corrected. People seem to change the insides preemptively. I ran the same hammer for almost a year and a half, and only 2 months ago did they actually change it. And that's because I absolutely destroyed it. And what destroyed it was the lightweight bolt. Right. In fact, I'll just show you on this because I'm not going to tear.
Well, the thing with that is its longevity. If you kept everything stock, but you just upgraded like the barrel, the bucking, and the hop, and you're not putting unnecessary stress, you'll be fine. It's like a TM Glock 18. If you use it sensibly, even with its plastic slide, it will last ages. But the second you short stroke it or add a metal slide, it'll break.
It seems to be the lightweight bolt is the killer these days.
Lawrence Elsmore, will it still work on 3s or is it geared more towards heavyweights?
Oh, it'll run from 2s all the way up to 5s. You know,
but if you do run anything lower than a 4, Steve will come to your house and slap you.
Right. Okay.
Lucas says, you guys are ruthless. The banter. Love it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lucas. Love you too, mate. Right.
Thies Felhurst says that price is acceptable. Reaper's just joined, or Sasha, sorry. Hammer Spring, Jonathan May says. He's gone through a few of those.
I'm not even been through one, Jonathan.
Andrew Lowe says his lasted absolutely ages, even short stroked. Lightweight bolt is what did his in as well.
Yep.
Mantis Concept Brothers are asking, when can you ship to Mantis? So that is a question of when's it coming, Steve?
When is it coming? Expect it next month.
There we go. Nice and easy. Next month, it should be around.
Next month is the one.
And someone else said, be sure to stock some of those at Mantis Concept. I imagine anyone that sells Hadron today is going to have this or be able to get this.
Indeed. Yes, indeedy. That's correct. So anyone who is currently, so that would be One Shot Canada. It would be Amped. Oh man, Amped are going to do some serious stuff with that.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to. I expect 40 rounds a second from them guys with something stupid.
I tell you what, related to Amped but unrelated to the AAP. I did a picture on it the other day, but I've been building some rifles behind the scenes, specifically so I can test my AEG bucking. I've built a Mancraft MK12 and a Redline N7 416, and they both come. The engines don't come with like decent braided lines. They come with just 6mm macro lines, and obviously they're very flimsy. And with the connector, sometimes if you grip it wrong, you end up pulling the connector off as you're trying to push the other one on. And I saw on shop in the UK they had the AGL grips, which are just a really clever idea. They're basically a short braided grip with a big bore with a proper decent pneumatic fitting, and all you do is you chop your existing line off, put a washer over, and wedge it up, pull it down, and it's done. And my 416 is downstairs. But Amped, the quality on that from Amped is great, because that's like an in-house manufactured product.
Yes, I love Amped stuff, mate. I need to...
They're coming on my stream at some point. How cool is that? I spoke to them a while back, and they're like, yeah, just let them know. So I'm trying to find out when, because I've got Kydex Customs on next Thursday, I think. Silly Gilly says it looks very snazzy with a pink flamingo in it. Matches the green foresight as well. Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it?
Oh dear. Right. So you saw this bit here first. One of the tricks from the Loki. Right. So we have the Loki installed. Notice it is installed with no barrel, right? No bucking, no anything. Okay. You fit that in there. You would bolt the two together. Yeah.
Yep.
And then you take your drill, and you saw this here first, right? Anybody who comes up with this now is like they Control and C, Control and V.
Anybody, everyone in this chat can pretty much guarantee who will come out with this tomorrow.
Right. So why does it not need a jig? Because there is a jig built in. Right. So you literally put the hop unit in the Pew Pew, right, without any internals in it and without the nub in there. You put the two together, right, and you get your drill, and there you go. You just drill straight through, and that is how I've done the SIU. I went straight through. I pulled the slide back, put this inside without the grip on, drill straight through, right through the SIU, and it is pinpoint accurate all the way.
Nice and easy.
Right, that's it. Job done. And you can TDC anything, any upper, anything from some of the nice guys out there that are making stuff in the community. I forget their names now. There's some really, really nice uppers coming through. Yeah, it makes it so simple. You don't need any jigs. You don't need any $6.99 printed pieces to do whatever. It's inbuilt, right? So and you can't get it wrong. As long as you line up all the screws and no bucking, no barrel, and you can drill straight through, it is
I did
done.
it. I didn't even ask you. I just saw the hole and I know what that's for. Yeah. Drilled it, no problem.
That's it. And then when you've done it, you take it out, clean out any debris that's in there, and then you'll just put it all back together again.
Did you just say debris?
Debris.
Debris.
Debris. Shut up. This is a southern thing.
Fucking
Barm cakes. Barm cakes, right?
No, I'm going to go home and have my tea. Dinner.
Yes. We have Dan and I have this
lunch,
discussion.
Dinner.
Is it barm cakes, right, or is it baps? You see, baps up here refer to like maybe ladies' appendages. No, baps up here is. If I walk past up here, if I walk past a woman up here and said, "Hey, nice baps," I'd get slapped for it.
Yeah, because in that context, it means tits. It means fun bags. All the lovely jubblies. It's a roll. It's a roll. That's what it is. Fun.
Oh God. Yeah.
Adam Campbell's asking, do they fit the WE Galaxy or just the AA?
They do not fit the... You see, right, now the Galaxy is a nice unit, but
Never
TTI...
seen one.
I have one here. Give me a second.
I mean, I've seen one like online, but I've not actually had one in my hands yet.
There you go. Galaxy. Right. Amazing lower set, right? Comes with everything, roller hammer, pretty much everything. But when it comes to the hop unit, it's like somebody said, you finished that, I'm going home. It's just bad. But the TTI have done a really, really good job of the hop unit. And because they've done one that's that good, it's like...
What's the point?
What's the point? I don't need to make anything that's better because it's good as it is. And yes, I still need to buy one, but everyone who buys a Galaxy gets a TTI, fits the TTI, and it shoots lasers. And it's like, why would I even bother? Because there's something there that does it. So that's that.
Aaron says it'd be awesome if he can get one in time for NAF. I don't know. Someone was asking, but I think Kenny was talking to me the other day about it. Dominic asked, what's the price? Steve said it's $49.99 at the moment. Gary Fox says my M60 is running the Flamingo this Sunday morning. For everyone that's asked, there have been AEG Flamingos out for the better part of 2 years in various shapes and forms, but the hop unit tolerances and variants, there's one in there, is insane, and it's taken meticulous testing. At least 20 people over the last 2 years have had various buckings in different formats, materials, configurations to try and get ones that work. And with the MTW, I think I've nailed it. And that gun that Steve just showed last night was results that neither of us were expecting, which is very nice. And Gary Fox is running it in his M60 and a couple of AEGs, and he's just been sent some more. Seb Ranieri says, is there any chance of getting the whole position wrong? No.
You can't get it wrong. If you get it wrong, then there's been no instructions, and people have used this. They've actually drilled it with a Dremel, which beggars belief.
What? I'm not going to touch that one. Okay, Dremel's fine.
Okay, here on the Mamba, when you drill the hole, it comes through on a 90-degree face of one of the wrist rails. Right? It's like somebody at AA said, "Do you know what? We just put this here, they'll never be able to TDC it," and they did it. And it's like you couldn't actually get it on a 90-degree face any more than what they have. It's like bang on. And you can actually, if you take your time with it, if you're drilling something like that, like a Mamba, I would definitely get somebody with a drill press to make sure that you don't start
tilting it.
Yeah, but it is I mean, tolerance in it. Again, tolerance, Dan. We know tolerances, don't we?
We love tolerances. So we talk about tolerances a lot.
There's hardly any waggle or deviation in that all the way down. Right? So even if you like sneeze while you're drilling it, you shouldn't damage anything.
We've got a nice comment from Sasha, also known as Reaper, also known as Mantis Concept. That's why Hadron Snipermechanics parts are so great. Easy and sexy. I don't know if you and me are easy and sexy, Steve, or our parts, or whether I'm sexy and you're easy. We'll have to get Sasha to confirm that. Sasha, can you confirm that? Aaron said you can only do that with a well-made unit. Andrew Lowe said, Christ's sake, I did it. Paul Winter says, is it scone or scone?
Well, they don't have them up here. That's like down south, isn't it? And then they refer to it as cream tea, don't they, or something like that?
We have cream tea and afternoon tea, but I call it a scone purely because if you look at the word cone, but then if you look at the word gone, and I'm on the fence. I'm acceptable. I'm accepting of either. There's argument for both.
Is this how you drink beer, Dan?
I actually get my manservant to pour it directly into my mouth.
Oh god, that's wrong.
Lucas said, I saw a hole. I know what that's for. Damn right I do, Hetty. You damn right I do. It's a cob. If it's fast, it's scone. From Gary.
Oh god.
NAF is Jonathan Mays just kindly provided the dates for us. It is the 26th to the 28th of August. So yeah, you should definitely get that in time.
Cool, definitely.
Angelo says, I'm an idiot and I drilled my member. Lucas just said, Dan's easy as fuck. How dare you? I will have stern words with your mother. Jonathan May says his is currently just in an AA pistol. And Adam Campbell says, easy and sexy. Just how I like my women. So that's caught up on the comments. And the thing I needed to do was on a time constraint, and that constraint's gone, so we haven't got a rush now, Steve. Dan swings both way on scones. I do. There's an argument for both, you know.
I need to ask a question. Right, this is now decision time. All right, so decision time for everybody in the chat right now. Right, you're going to get an input on how this goes.
I feel excluded.
Not asking you anyway. Rude. I don't want replies in crayon.
I'm not allowed crayon, Steve. You know this.
Right, there is a top plate that's held in on this. Would people rather have tiny Phillips screws, right? Or would they rather have an Allen key? And the reason I ask is, I like Allen key, but not everyone has got all the sizes that you need. Allen key, yeah, the little...
Don't do what everyone else does, though. Get them in freaking metric sizes. The amount of HBA stuff that I've got is an Imperial.
That's right.
And I'm like, God damn it!
Let me know what do you want, because I can go either way. I like the Allen screws. They feel much better, right? But they're a tiny size. They're something like a 0.9 mil or something like that. So you're going to need a tiny, a finer one. The screws are okay, but they don't feel as nice. So I want to use Allens.
Everyone has said Allen. Literally, like 8 people have all commented saying Allen.
Torx keys would better. I don't have a Torx key that small. It's like a 2mm thread. Allen. Well, thank you. Right, everybody in the chat, you've helped make this decision. So you've just shaped a bit of the product. Thank you.
Told you it was going to be an Allen key before you did this.
No, but you've got to ask. But somebody said to me, I haven't got an Allen key, and they had to go out and buy one. I was like, oh right, I can imagine that if 200 or 300 people bought one, maybe, and then they went, I've not got Allen keys, and then I had to go out and buy one. It's like, oh yes. Fantastic. That is, I'll do that. I could even go flathead.
What did I was, I've got those TEagle scopes, right? I've been looking at them today. I got them yesterday. I didn't really have a chance, but then I got home today and I was having a look at one. And they come with Torx. And not many things use Torx. Like, obviously, some AEG gearboxes have. When I took my ENC 416 part, that had Torx. And I was like, do I even have Torx anymore? I haven't used them for ages. Lucky enough, I had it in a little watch repair set. Better to buy the right key than round off a posse. Exactly.
Right. That's it. Shaped. Done. I actually had them in the original, but...
Dominic says, was their release date mentioned? Yes, next month, hopefully. All going well.
Everything's fine with them. They've been tested. These units have been out there now. I mean, I gamed with one at Phoenix with Mustang over 14 months ago.
Which Flamingo have you got in that unit?
Oh.
Because rumor is there's a new Flamingo floating around.
I can't.
Well, no, maybe another time. I had shot mine today, by the way, out of my USB compact. I had to chrono it because I was like,
Yep.
That was I was using a normal Flamingo, and then I put this one in, and I was like,
Yeah. I think
it's like, is it that hot today that it's going like that? No, power did go up a teeny bit just because the ceiling benefits. Paul Witness says, what was the price of the TEagle Short Dot? I'm an idiot and I paid for expensive shipping, but I think they're on sale at the moment. If you go on their AliExpress store direct, I think they're on sale, and I think they're $94, so like £77. It was reasonable, and I've had various other short dots around the 70 to 100 quid mark, and they've all had problems in one way or another. Whereas this one, obviously very early impressions, I'm not going to say it's amazing yet, but initially everything about it is very high quality. This scope doesn't fog up, but both my Vortex Crossfire 2s, the cheaper ones, fog up if I put them near a kettle. This didn't, so that is a very good start for me. But the company's really nice. Like I bought one scope, full transparency, I bought one scope, and communication was a bit tough, and I was trying to get a cantilever mount. I remember talking to Steve about it, and I was like, I generally got to the point where I paid for it, and I was like, I don't know what I'm getting. Like, I don't know what I'm getting. And they kindly then messaged me saying, oh, we've looked at your blog and crap. We'd like to send you like a sniper scope rather than the short dot. And I was, oh, thank you very much. And that's really nice quality. Well, Dan, I do hope if there's a new one, it might be a little harder than the 60A. No, it doesn't need to be harder than the 60A. The reason they're 50 and 60 is because of their silicon. Any harder and they get grippier. So unlike rubber and NBR and what 90% of people did. Because remember, no one did silicon before I did. Which is fine. You know, it's how everyone learns. So no, the new VSR ones are 50 and 60 still. Same material, but because of the revisions to the shapes, I mean, they work really well so far. Obviously, they're out with testers, so someone might message me tomorrow and say, oh, I've got it, and it's shit. We won't know. But I've rocked one. Silly Gilly's got one. You've got one. Gary's got one. And Luke from Negative Airsoft has been sent a selection of new buckings. I have an FNX HK45 compact that would benefit from one of those Flamingos. Damn, that's cheap for a short dot. Yeah, if it's the TM and it uses TM style buckings, then yeah, it'll fit. I know some of the other pistols like KWA and stuff have like a weird proprietary bucking like the ICSs, which the Flamingos won't fit in. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Yeah, the plan is I'm at Battle Lakes next weekend and I'm taking, I'm running my upgraded SSG 10, all my SSG 96 with some prototype parts. I'm going to whack the 3x9x44 scope on that, and the short dot is on my N7 HBA 416 thing. So hopefully next weekend I'll be able to give a good 2-day bash of both of them. Adam Campbell, so is the AEG Flamingo bucking still on the cards? So the AEG one's been a money pit for me. It's been so hard to get right. And that's why you don't see many new companies coming out with them. There's a lot of existing companies doing different versions because they've obviously found something that worked to a good degree and they've managed to expand upon it. Whereas obviously I've started my buckings from scratch. Like I wasn't already designing buckings, then come out with something else. I've just gone to the drawing board with a whole new thing. So they've been around for about 2 years, just in small batches that I've sent out to a couple of shops to test, or some influencers or testers, whatever you want to call them, or just people that I've met on game days. I've been like, you chuck that in there. But it was just a money pit. And then obviously last year with obviously where I was working and then quit and then went back to doing this, I had to be tactful with the projects I released and ones that were going to hopefully get me a return so that I could have some sort of money to carry on with projects. So yeah, I've just got a load of samples this week, which started getting posted out to people a few days ago. And these are the newest batch. And unlike the VSR, they come in 60 and 70. And the reason being because of the material, 50 is too soft with how thin the wall diameter is and the feed lips. So I needed it to have a bit more durability. So they come in 60 and 70 to allow for the limitations of how much material they can have. But a few people have got them, so you might see some footage from different people testing them. And that thing Steve's playing with, he's got one in because we were shooting it last night. Would it be amazing if there was a KWA Flamingo in the future? Gary, if you've got a KWA gun, send it to me and I'll have a look. I haven't got a KWA anything. Inside a Hadron Hop unit, MP9 would be crying out for one. That is very true. The MP9 is a very solid platform. And what's Steve? Are you playing with your dick down there, Steve?
I am, mate. I am. I'm playing around with this M4. Sorry.
Nice. That's right.
Well, I can.
We're all caught up. I think
we are. Who wants the lips blown out?
Hetty's mum. He's going to slap me for that. Just like she would.
That is a 60-degree Flamingo in an M4WE, which is pretty much totally standard and about 8 years old. And it's only been opened once. 313.4, 313.6, 313.7, 313.6, 313.9, 314.6. So sealing and consistency is great. Flight path is amazing.
What is that? The one with the clear hop unit?
That is the one with the clear hop unit.
Do you want to just show that on camera just so people know it exists?
Oh yeah.
And then we'll look forward to a blue bucking coming out tomorrow.
Panic resin.
Panic blue. Panic blue.
Panic blue.
Code blue.
If in doubt, blue.
If you know what that means, it's funny. There you go. Look at that lovely pink flamingo. Beautiful.
And that didn't really have much hop on that. So I don't even think you'll see this in the stream. We will try.
Without the torch, we might be able to.
All right, we'll try, because it's like a bloody pain in the backside this time. No, you're not going to see it. No. It's good. It's there. Sorry, it's a bit...
I don't know what nubby... Gary's asking what nub are you running?
No, but that is just the one that you used to get with the poison apple bucking that was lying around. Got that in there. I call it the dog bone or something. It's just like a dog toy, minuscule dog toy thing.
Yeah, Steve did get one to work, but the buckings that are out and about now aren't the same bucking. This is another revision. So the ones you've got, Jonathan, are the older ones. But these buckings have been fitted into an MTW and the NT9, whatever it's called.
Yeah, I've got the hop unit here, so I've been doing some experimenting with the M4W compatibility. Works with the silent sniper nozzles as well in the M4W. A bit more testing to do, but yes, very, very promising.
Yeah, and Jonathan, that's why obviously you gave some feedback that you had issues. Other people didn't have the same issue, and then other people did have an issue. So that's why I've gone back and redesigned it with all the feedback I got from you and about 7 other people. And then spent loads of money and got another batch. And that's this batch, which so far, in the ones I've managed to test, have been good. Obviously, Steve just done on camera, feeding it absolutely fine, consistent. So yeah, I'm hoping this is the batch, because there's basically in this batch, there's 60 and 70 degree, and there's 3 different design variations. So I had the base design, where I took everything I'd learned and then made an average revision to dimensions. And then I had a B sample, which had a different dimension for what would be deemed a problem area. And then sample C had a different dimensional change for something that, to be fair, very few people reported having. And that was another dimensional change. So between the 3 samples, I've got a baseline and then 2 things that will address issues that people had with the last revision. And so far, sample B is the one that seems to be the winner. Well, for me, it was. For you, it is so far. And then for Negative Airsoft has got a load. And if they're shit, you'll all know about it. But he's had some of my buckings from other batches before. And he had no problems with one of the batches. And then I changed factory because the QC wasn't great. But then they use different tools. And then because they use different tools and molding processes, the end product isn't the same, despite the design being the same. 60 degree sample B. That looks to be the winner so far.
Yes, this is called testing, Dan. It's something that is a little bit overlooked. You know, just because it works in your gun and your pistol and your mates, Pew Pew, doesn't mean it's time to do a production run.
Well, I was talking to Rogueworks on the stream the other week, and we're having the same conversation, because obviously we were chatting a lot when they were working on their Genesis kit, and obviously I gave them loads of flamingos to work with and try, and there were some introductions to factories, like obviously same with us. We've obviously openly talk about factories and work together on stuff, and it helps. Like I'd rather release a product where I don't make much on the first batch, because it's not even wasted, because I've spent so much on prototyping, than rush something that does an okay job just to get some money. I'd rather sit on the profit and get a better product that's gonna, because if you release something that only works, the second something comes out that's better, that will sell. You will lose that market. Whereas if you just find something, and even if you're the last person to get it out, you might be the first person to design it, but the last to get it out, so long as your one is the one that is the innovation, the one that does what it's meant to do, then that's where you're going to end up with the product. And I'm really lucky. Like, the community's been really positive with my stuff, especially since I've obviously all the shit last year, and then obviously going out on my own again. It's been really positive. And it encourages me to do it, because as Steve will tell you, when shit was going wrong last year, early part of last year, I was done. Like, I was about to bin it all in. And it was only because I had obviously people like you, and obviously members of the community and people that reached out and were like, why would you stop? Like, don't get beaten, don't get bullied, carry on. Like community decides, and I've stuck it out. And obviously you're in the same boat. You had a similar problem with the same people, obviously just not to the level that I had. And you know what? As shit as it was, and in my case, with all legal shit, as expensive as it was, I came out on top. I've come out of products that people like, and yeah, I mean the community's night and day.
Definitely, community is the judge.
What's Gary saying? He's going to throw it in his 2.3 dual 416. Yeah, it should be fine, Gary. I'd had mine in your 417. Sorry, I put the sample B in a stock polymer rotary chamber in the 416, and that was at like 1.9 joules on a 4.8, and that was fine. Feed lips were fine, no jamming, nothing. But that's obviously a handful of guns, and there's like 20 to 30 brands making M4 with a hop unit that are all bloody different. So it'll be interesting to see which one is the one that works, or whether I have to do a couple, and there's like an MTW specific one, which I'll do because I think the market's good enough and there's lacking in suitable buckings there. And then maybe a separate AEG one, because despite what people say, the MTW and the AEG chambers, while they look the same and they take the same buckings, the way the engines work, they're not seated in the same position. The hop doesn't go in the same position. And that's why 90% of rubbers don't work in the MTW.
All right. Just to sort of demo, I was on earlier about destroying things to find out. That is the insides of an MTW hop unit that was cut in half, just to see how the bucking went inside it.
Which sometimes you have to do, because obviously you can measure stuff and go, oh, that fits like that. No, because they'll measure something and go, yeah, this piece, that fits in there. And you just go, okay, oh, it doesn't actually fit in there. I believed you. It's only when you take stuff apart, you're like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, lovely. That's a prototype. That's, for those that was asking, that video I put up the other day of the hex cut, that is the evolution of this. And for those that have a good memory, this is about 3 years old. And I was printing it years ago, and I couldn't find someone who could do a decent enough quality job that I was happy with it at a price that was reasonable. And now I have. So a version of this is what's coming. We're adding products to the portfolio.
Oh, yes. Control C, Control and V done.
Project C and V.
Sample B, where's my 60 degree, where's my 70 sample B, where's it gone?
They're fucking expensive, you better not lost them.
Sample A, oh God, sample C, hang on, sample A, sample C. You know what, I've put it to one side, haven't I? Oh, there it is, it's hiding, it's next to the laser. Right, sample B. All right, booking, let's just get you lined up there properly, not like a flipping idiot. I don't like having B as well, trying to do forms of airsoft teching. It's not great. So there we are. That's lined up perfectly. That is your M4W hop unit.
Don't forget to look. There we go. That's what we like to see. Someone clip that.
Into the mouth. Nice.
Steve loves a bit of pink things in his mouth.
In we go with that. In we go. You could edit this into some really bad content, couldn't you?
I could. No. Yeah, I will be getting Heady to absolutely edit this. Do an exposed video.
So that is an M4W hop unit, and that is one of Zabo's, or Sniper is silent nozzles that he's got. And we are in there. We've got no binding. It's right up against the lips.
Also what we like to hear.
Yeah, fine. Nice seal to that. And obviously I need the engine in there, but it's not jamming. It's a nice fit. It's a nice seal. So I'm going to run that in the standard hop chamber.
Hadron sucks off a Flamingo.
Under duress, Gary, under duress. There we go. Well, look at that. It came out without being ripped to pieces. Amazing.
For people who are watching, like, why is that amazing? Because silicon's great, but it's very grippy, which is one of its best characteristics and also one of its worst. So whereas a rubber bucking, you kind of have to rely on brute force for it to stay in place. The silicon that's used in the Flamingos doesn't. It just needs to touch it because it's very grippy. And it doesn't expand. It's very temperature resistant. And one of the problems with one of my other batches is it would fit in like a couple of chambers and then it would just rip as you pulled it out. So these last revisions have taken all of that feedback. And then, yeah.
Yep. So, yeah.
We learn.
I'm going to go and try that tomorrow.
Adam says, this is like a sex ed stream, sticking a rubber on a stiff shaft and spitting on it.
Oh, this is wrong.
Content not safe for kids. I'll get flagged in a minute.
You are going to get flagged. No, we are PG.
Well, we've had a stream of that this week, haven't we?
It's past the watershed.
But unless there's anything else, I think we've covered everything. So to summarize, hopefully the Loki's coming out next month.
Yes.
It's hopefully going to be around $49.99.
Yes.
You don't need anything extra.
Zero extra. You can literally just open the hop unit on your AAP, take out the insides. Ideally, you can change the barrel if you want. Use the stock barrel. I've got the stock in most of mine. It does well. If you want the DAF ranges, you need to go to, I think, a 150. I think Paul has been running one of those. He's been getting great results with it. Absolutely fantastic results with fours. So
because they're about 0.9 joules on a stock barrel, gas and weather dependent, and they're what 1.1 on a 150-ish.
I think
again, gas dependent.
You don't want to go past a 200 barrel. They put out bags and bags of gas. So yeah. And yeah, these things are outranging 23s at the moment. I mean, even the 23 that I've got on the best day ever, these things will sail past it.
Yeah, my MK, I need to put some some WeTech parts in it because it is old and it was everything about it works. It's just everything about it. It's a lot of effort. Like it loads the BB and I hear it go, oh, for fuck's sake. But it gets it out there and it's like, oh, don't ask her again. I've had it a long time, to be fair. I've had it so long that I had to modify the hop unit to put any other barrel in it because there was no crazy jets or anything. Lawrence Ellsworth said, I've actually been considering dumping £65 on a stainless edgy barrel for my... Don't bother. Just get a modified steel barrel for like 25 quid.
Yeah.
Not that edgy's not bad. Like edgy stuff's good. It is high quality stuff. But you're not like for a sniper. I'd say maybe spend on an expensive barrel. But in an AAP, anything a 603 will be fine. 605 will be fine. Yeah, want to get one of the brass barrels. Edgy does some 605 brasses, and they're a hell of a lot cheaper. Or yeah, Crazy Jets modify T&T barrels are alright as well for the price. They're all like 25 quid, 23 quid. They're pretty cheap. But is there anything else from you want to mention, Steve, before we end the stream?
No, just thank everybody for turning up and thanks for the input. I will change the part listing over to little Allen keys, and then don't come moaning at me when you don't have an Allen key.
They'll go, why wasn't it included for free?
And no, you don't need anything extra to go with it. There's no hidden bits. You literally just take one out, put the other one in, obviously drill through the outer first and screw it together. Job done. Any carbine kits, ESC carbine kit, anything at all that compatible works. It's just there.
We've had some funny comments. I'll just read. So Gary said SM had is the new LGBTQ. And Stephen Horde said, thanks for the sex ed class. You're welcome.
With any of that.
Empire Airsoft said he's done it and it was an easy install because he's got an AAP there as well. So,
yeah, he did it with no instructions, did he? I was like, do you need instructions? He's like, no, I've just done it.
So there's confidence in your product. Hi shop, here's a prototype. Like, that's how you sell it. Like, here's a prototype. Buy it if you think it's good. Gary said he's inspired. He's now going to go tongue some units. Nothing like tonguing a unit on a weekend and spitting on some shafts, eh, Steve?
You need to start selling some of your bathwater, Dan. You know, like that Belle Delphine does. That's what you need to do. Yeah.
Just start selling some of my angry sweat when I'm stood over a rifle in a 40-degree warehouse swearing.
That's it. Snipermechanics sweat, the ideal booking lubricant.
Comes with extra regret.
Oh, Christ. No more streams on a Friday, Dan, please.
Jonathan just said he's just installed the Flamingo on his M4W hop unit and it works. And Empire says he does want to be biased, but the hop unit's amazing. Right, well, hopefully for everyone, obviously Hadron, as always, thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing the projects. Yeah, thank you for everyone that joined. We had a good amount of people, loads of comments, 145 comments, 146 comments. What are you guys doing on a Friday night? I thought no one was going to watch this.
That's why you got me
Empire
on.
says, Steve is shit, but his products are amazing. There you go. That's right. You've met Kenny. You are a lot bigger than he is.
It's all right. No, but he fights dirty. You know,
he does.
He's got the fingers to prove he fights dirty.
He's got that risky thumb, hasn't he? So yeah, get it done, get it made, get some footage out of it.
It's getting made. It's getting made. Footage. There are some YouTubers using it at the moment. One of these is going to Camman, and he'll be having a game with it over the coming weeks. So between then and the others, will be going out to other people to cause some mischief with.
Little play on words there. I like it. Does Empire post to New Zealand? Kenny, if Empire still in the chat, you've got a question. Calling Empire, do you post to New Zealand? Answer me, Empire. On a Friday night, he's not joining streams to answer customers' questions. What a cock. Is Airsoft in New Zealand?
Oh yes, quite a few, mate. They are.
It's Australia. They don't have it. They've got gel blasters, haven't they?
Don't go for Australia. But New Zealand has got a very big Mark 23 base.
Okay.
And Yeah, and they tend to take it very seriously with the builds.
Yeah, I didn't think that.
New Zealand, yes, some great scenery there.
Oh, that is it. We're done. We're going. Remember, like, share, subscribe. This will go up on Facebook whenever Facebook processes it, which will be tonight. And it should go up on YouTube in better quality in a week or so. But my friend Lucas, who was in the stream, who helps me with the editing, basically does it. He is really busy with exams and shit, so he can't help me at the moment. So there might be a bit of a delay, but it'll be on Facebook. But I think Heddy's watched this, and I can hear his little brain writing stuff down, like, oh, that was funny, I'm going to edit that. Oh, I'm going to take that out of context and really fuck Steve. Like,
don't do that.
Do you see the one with Luke from Negative Airsoft? That tickled me. That was good. I like that. Heddy is very good at editing. Right, guys, that's it. We're done. We're finished. It's hot. We're just getting out of control. Watching this stream is a bit of foreplay. That's what we come here for. You come here for the knowledge. You walk away with an erection. That's what we're here for.